state of California has issued over 62,000 commercial driver's licenses to illegal immigrants, people who are not even supposed to be in the country, and they are operating 18-wheelers on American highways. One of them, Jashanpreet Singh, recently caused a crash that killed 3 Americans while he was driving under the influence. And California isn't alone. Illinois, New York, Virginia, Georgia, and other states are doing the exact same thing under, quote, sanctuary laws. That 62,000 drivers from California is just 2% of the 3.5 million CDL holders in the United States today. How many more lives are going to be lost before we stop pretending that things are not normal? This isn't about compassion anymore. This is about public safety. This is about the safety of the American people.
Another deadly truck crash involving an illegal immigrant driver. Police say the 21-year-old Indian national was on drugs, never even touched his brakes before he caused a fiery crash that killed 3 people in Southern California on Tuesday. He was released into the United States during the Biden administration after crossing the southern border illegally. That was back in 2022. That video, William, is nothing short of horrific.
Yeah, he never slowed down. But John, many of these incidents never make national news. Remember the Oklahoma Highway Patrol? They arrested 125 illegal immigrants driving big rigs at a single checkpoint. 85% had a commercial driver's license the feds said they never should have had. Just like this driver, as you mentioned, Jashanpreet Singh, an Indian national arrested Tuesday on 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. He's in court later today. The crash happened outside L.A. Singh, on an 18-wheeler, slams into the back of an SUV before plowing into multiple other vehicles in the same lane, then crashing into those 2 trucks on the shoulder.
I don't know about you, but that accident is horrific. You know how you're driving down the highway sometime and you're seeing that the traffic is slowing down in front of you and you're trying to figure out what's going on? Why is the traffic stopping? And then eventually you get up to the place where you can see something happen on the other side of the road and you see this horrible accident and you're thinking to yourself, man, I wonder how that happened. That's how this happened. This illegal immigrant got into the country, got a CDL, he wasn't supposed to be here, he was driving under the influence, and 3 people died.
The driver was transported for injuries to a local hospital, and at the hospital he was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs.
Singh's not alone. A few months ago in Florida, you remember this illegal immigrant with a California CDL killed 3 during an illegal U-turn. Then California also gave a CDL to this semi-driver who killed a motorist in Texas. The trucker only spoke Mandarin. And check out this post last week from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy of a foreign driver headed into oncoming traffic.
You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now.
Okay, what I'm doing, sir?
So now listen to the U.S. driver again try to communicate in plain English what to do next.
Turn your hazard lights on for one. Okay. Turn your hazard lights on now. Your hazard lights, your blinkers. Your blinkers, turn your hazard lights on. They're on, okay.
So this is utterly ridiculous. Neither you nor I could go to another country and start driving down their roads and we don't understand the language, we can't read the signs, we can't communicate with a law enforcement officer if they pull us over. No American could do this in any other country. Why are we allowing this to happen in the United States? And you just heard the report. 3 people died in this particular accident. I want you to see the face of the actual person who actually died in this accident.
Among the victims, a Pomona High School basketball coach and his wife. Homeland Security officials say Singh was in the U.S. illegally, crossing the southern border in 2022 and released into the country by the Biden administration, though the California DMV says they were told he had legal status.
Of course, California is saying that he was here and he was legal and they didn't know that he was in the country illegally because they're not communicating with the federal government. They're a sanctuary state. They're not actively collecting this information. I actually own a U-Haul dealership here in Illinois, and it was only a few years ago that I would have Spanish-speaking or immigrants come into my store, and they had something called a TVDL. That's a temporary visitor driver's license. Since then, the state of Illinois has actually revamped this law, and now individuals get a driver's license that's indistinguishable from an American citizen who gets a driver's license. So these sanctuary cities, these sanctuary states are bending over backwards to try and accommodate people who are here illegally in contravention of federal law. You have to ask yourself, why? Why are they going above and beyond to make life so easy for people who are here illegally? And then to add insult to injury, this is a lot of what you hear from that community.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen.
So this is where we find ourselves. We have immigrants in major cities all around the country who are actively going on camera, not obscuring their identity, and they're saying, hey, we have guns too. We're going to defend ourselves. Here's the problem with that stance. A lot of these individuals are here illegally. When the federal government and ICE go out and they apprehend individuals, they are defending federal law. It is a federal crime to sneak into this country. How are you going to defend yourself inside of a country where you are there illegally against the very laws and the law enforcement agencies that are charged with enforcing the actual law? If ICE goes into Los Angeles or Chicago or Atlanta or New York City and they apprehend an illegal immigrant, they're doing their jobs. Why are we as Americans standing for this? I don't understand why Americans are standing shoulder to shoulder with individuals who snuck into this country, they broke the law, and then they try to say, oh, they haven't committed any crime since they've been here, so it's no big deal, so just leave them alone. No, they broke the law. Just like if you or I as an American citizen broke the law, law enforcement is not going to look the other way. They're going to arrest us, they're going to charge us, and if we're found guilty, they're going to remand us to custody. We have to do the same thing with people who come into this country illegally. I don't understand why this is so difficult, why this is turning into a left-right argument. But maybe I'm wrong. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit a hype or a like, but most importantly, let's get into the comment section. Let me know, how do you feel about illegal immigrants who are in this country, take jobs from Americans, and then because they can neither speak, read, or write English, they are causing these horrific accidents on our highways that are resulting in the deaths of Americans? Do you believe that we should continue on this trajectory? Or do you think, hey, we need to give these individuals an opportunity to be successful? I can't wait to have this conversation. Like I said, thank you for hanging out this long, and I'll catch you in the next one.